Rationing? Is the war still on? Well, no, but another philosophical war is being waged, that between ideology and reality. Electricity rationing is the inevitable and completely predictable consequence of extreme climate policies and the net zero by 2050 agenda. By imposing artificial and unachievable deadlines to reduce carbon dioxide emissions before the market or the technology has evolved to cope with it, governments around the world are not only crippling their electricity infrastructure, they're crippling their economies, and it's going to get a whole lot worse before it gets better. At precisely the same time as we're supposed to wean ourselves off the fuels that have powered the planet for nearly 200 years since the Industrial Revolution, in a time frame that is, at least on a historical scale, the blink of an eye, we're in the midst of another revolution, that of artificial intelligence, which will require massive amounts more electricity for its data centers than even business as usual growth would provide. Add to that the supposed transition from combustion cars to electric vehicles, and it's hardly surprising that countries are running out of electricity. And, just like in World War II, rationing is back. Welcome back to MGUY, British engineer and lawyer, now Sydney-based YouTuber. If you'd like to support this channel and display your anti-EV credentials to your Tesla-owning neighbours at the same time, why not buy some awesome MGUY merchandise, like this mug, this baseball cap, or this t-shirt. Each high-quality item sports the MGUY No EVs sign, and they're all made to order, perfect for irritating the hell out of your local EV zealots. Visit store.mguy.tv or click the link in the description to check out the full range of products. And of course, you can always just buy me a coffee. Click the link in the description or scan the QR code on screen. The former industrial powerhouse of the Netherlands is the first European domino to fall in the electricity rationing stakes. Driven by punishing climate goals and emissions reductions targets, the Dutch grid cannot cope with the demands for electricity, which will only continue to increase. If we'd wanted to transition to EVs and build AI data centers when we had reliable coal and gas-fired generation, it might have been achievable. But to do all that at the same time as crippling the grid with wind and solar, there's absolutely no chance. Netherlands rations electricity as country struggles to cope with turning away from gas as part of green policies. As expert warns, Britain is also in trouble. The Netherlands is rationing electricity as its overloaded power grid buckles under the pressure of rapid electrification and ambitious climate goals. More than 11,900 businesses are stuck in a queue for access to the network, alongside public buildings including hospitals, schools and fire stations. Thousands of new homes are also waiting to be connected, with some areas warned they may have to wait until the 2030s. The crisis has emerged as the country scrambles to cut carbon emissions. And now experts are warning that Britain, as well as Belgium and Germany, are all in trouble. The countries should definitely see what is happening in the Netherlands as a warning, says Susanna Pato from Brussels-based energy think tank RAP. After shutting down production at the massive Groningen gas field last year, the Dutch government has pushed a fast transition to electric heating, solar power and battery storage. But the national grid has failed to keep pace, creating widespread bottlenecks and driving up costs. Officials estimate €200 billion will be needed by 2040 to expand grid capacity. Electricity prices are already among the highest in Western Europe, and Dutch households face yearly tariff increases of up to 4.7% for at least the next decade. To ease demand, operators are offering cheaper contracts for off-peak usage and telling major industries they may need to shut off entirely for several hours a day. And this line in the story has to be the ultimate irony. A national ad campaign is urging the public to avoid charging e-bikes and electric cars between 4 p.m. and 9 p.m. when the grid is under the most strain. But you freaking well told everyone to buy EVs and now you're saying we can't charge them at a convenient time? The utter stupidity of all this just breaks my brain. And don't believe it will end here. As reported in the Telegraph, this will eventually spread to the rest of Europe. It is, of course, not just the Dutch. Spain and Portugal suffered a massive blackout earlier this year, with the entire power system shutting down for the day. While the reasons for the failure are still not entirely clear, it looks as if relying on solar power without enough backup capacity may have been a big part of the problem. Likewise, shortages are emerging in Belgium and France, and Germany may not be far behind. We should not kid ourselves that this is an issue restricted to the Netherlands or to continental Europe. The UK will almost certainly be next in line, and we are already seeing the early warning signs of that. Industrial electricity prices have soared to the highest level in Europe, and that has forced many heavy industries to close. It is a form of rationing except by price. The electricity companies have already imposed smart meters on households in the hope that a nagging little dial in the corner of the kitchen warning how much power the dishwasher is using might persuade you to use less, as well as experimenting with off-peak rates to encourage us to use less power in the main part of the day. Indeed, given that the Dutch are generally a lot more organised than we are, they might simply be getting on the front foot by putting formal rationing in place early in the process. In the UK, it is more likely that there will be sudden blackouts, with towns and cities potentially plunged into darkness. This could then be followed by rolling blackouts for non-essential industries on a sporadic basis. Whichever form it takes, the main point is the same. Reliable, cheap electricity, which most businesses just assumed could be taken for granted, is now a thing of the past. Indeed it is. As net zero policies continue to chip away at our generation capacity, pretending that wind and solar can replace it, we will see electricity becoming more and more expensive until it is just another luxury item that only a proportion of the population can afford, at least all the time. The quickest way to achieve net zero is just to kill the economy, kill all the industry and make everyone live in the cold and the dark. Life would be utterly miserable and intolerable. But hey, who cares? Stop complaining, you climate denier, you. We saved the planet, didn't we? Thanks very much for watching. Really hope you enjoyed it. If you've got any tips or stories, go there. If you'd like to watch another video, go there. If you'd like to buy me a coffee, go there. And please subscribe to the channel.